I don't think you can politically exist if you're not going to do voter ID and these things. I don't think the people in this country will stand for it. So I'm making my biggest plea tonight. It'll make you, and I'm not doing it for this reason at all. It'll guarantee the midterms. It'll guarantee the midterms. If you don't get it, big trouble, my opinion. If you get this, your midterms, and they know it.
Donald Trump saying the SAVE Act is the only thing that the Republicans need to focus on before the midterms. Joining me now, Cornell Belcher, Democratic strategist and pollster, also MS Now political analyst, and Jonathan Lemire, who's still with us. So, John, when the president says it will guarantee Republicans the midterms, what does he mean?
Might be tipping his hand there, huh? This is certainly become the number one piece of the president's legislative agenda, even if not all Republicans are on board. And he's of the belief that the restrictions put in place in the SAVE Act would cull the voting public, and largely Democrats. And therefore, that would give the Republicans a path to victory, despite right now a uphill climb for the GOP, at least in the House. They are, I think, widely considered by analysts in both parties as expected to lose the House. And the Senate's a toss-up. I think the map still favors Republicans, but it is undeniably close. So this is the president saying he wants to get this done, and even suggesting that he's going to withhold his endorsement in the Texas Republican Senate runoff until someone comes out and backs it. And that, secondly, he suggests the filibuster be blown up in order, to make this happen, because, of course, Democrats aren't going to go for it. And Majority Leader Thune, at least to this point, has drawn that line, saying that's not going to happen. He's an institutionalist. He's also able to see down the road a little bit to suggest that, to realize that someday Democrats will likely control the Senate again. Maybe that's even early next year or 2 years from now. And that, they would then, without having the filibuster, would be able to force through their agenda. So he's risking the wrath of President Trump.
All right, so if Republicans focus on this ahead of the midterms, they make this their big legislative priority, what do Democrats make their big priority, Cornell?
Well, let's be clear about something. What he's talking about, why it guarantees the Republicans a victory in elections, because it's voter disenfranchisement. Like, he's talking about disenfranchising millions and millions of voters. So this whole democracy works on the ideal of accountability, right, Katie? We can make this really, really complicated, but it really isn't that complicated. Do the things that the voters want you to do, and they vote for you. Do the things they don't want you to do, and they vote against you. Right. That's the fundamentals of democracy. They've done nothing that the voters want them to do. And the very fact that he's now touting this to Republicans as a top priority, Katie, is really kind of a let them eat cake moment, because it's so callous and so disconnected from the reality of working people and what they're struggling their struggles right now in America, that, again, as opposed to your president being focused on common sense legislation to help bring down cost and help you pay for health care. And look, there's a rural hospital crisis going on right now in this country, where rural hospitals are on the brink of closing. As opposed to them working on that, he's callously talking about taking away the voice and accountability of American people to bring to bear in an election. Right. That's what this is fundamentally about.
There's so much in this bill that has nothing to do with elections. I mean, they're talking about transgender surgeries as well. But they try to make the headline voter ID here. And when you poll the American public, including Democrats, on voter ID, it's largely pretty popular, even among Democrats as well. So I wonder, do the Democrats have a political problem on the substance of this bill? I mean, do the Republicans have anything to sell there?
Well, this is not Katie. Most places, a lot of places, there is voter ID, right? This is not about voter ID, right? The guts of this bill is about disenfranchising millions of Americans, particularly women and married women. Like, we should spend more details on what's actually in this bill, because it's not about voter ID at all, right? It's much more. It's much more diabolical than simply voter ID, and we know the types of people who are going to be hurt most by this, and these are typically people who are on the lower income scale, women voters and minority voters.